Welcome to the Rocky Mountain Artificial Intelligence Interest Group. This was a video of a webinar that we did on April the 11th, 2023, entitled ChatGPT, a Deeper Dive. For future meetings, check out our meetup group or check out our website, RMAIIG.org. Enjoy.
Let me introduce our next speaker. Saeks is a business author, Hall of Fame keynote speaker, and President CEO of Prime Concepts Group, which is a marketing agency. Recently, he was a featured speaker at the Unleash AI for Business Summit, where he presented on prompt engineering, which is a crucial aspect of to get quality output from your AI. In addition, he was interviewed by the Sales Hunter podcast about how ChatGPT is revolutionizing sales. At our event tonight, Ford will be speaking about prompt engineering and how to train AI to create compelling content. His insights and expertise in the field of AI will be invaluable to anyone looking to leverage this technology to enhance their business success. Take it away, Ford. Thanks for being here.
Yay, whoa, there's a sound effect. So any sound effects come out, it's me pushing buttons. I can't help myself, so just get over it. I want to give you a disclaimer right away that anything I say is not approved or endorsed by anybody in this community. So if you like what I've done, thank them. If you don't like what I've done, you can hate me for it. All right, so I'm going to take a different approach on this. First of all, Tom, that was great. I love to get the details of the engine behind and how it all works. But I'm going to take a different approach to this. We're going to go about 15-20 minutes. I'm going to go pretty quick. You are going to have questions. Type it into the Q&A at the bottom, and we will be sticking around later to answer them. So now you know how to answer questions. So first things first, some things will make you smarter, but they won't make you any more money. And if you want to make more money, you have to add more value. Well, one of the things that I look at when I look at ChatGPT or AI, and I've been using AI or versions of it for a couple years now. Obviously, ChatGPT only came out 4 months ago, but the derivatives of that started, long time ago. And so I look at, if you want to make more money, how do you add more value? And one of the things that we're going to talk about how to use prompts more effectively, but I want to give you a different perspective. So in all the businesses and brands that I work with across the world, I'm hired for 4 things. How do you expand your influence? How do you get subscribers? How do you get leads? And how do you get sales? So anything that I can use to be more efficient or effective, I'm going to do. And so I want you to be thinking about everything that all the speakers talk about tonight in 3 buckets: mindset, strategy, and tactic. So mindset is if you're sitting on the sidelines and you don't think that this is going to be a big deal. Dan mentioned it in the introduction if you joined late. This is bigger than the internet. This is bigger than cell phones. This is bigger than all the technology changes that you've probably seen in your life. And the impact it's going to have is just enormous. And anybody who thinks they know what's going to happen with it is just full of poo-poo. I can push that button. And, it's a wild, wild west. So, you can't swing a dead cat without hitting 20 people doing webinars. I have 3 emails in my inbox. Learn how to use ChatGPT. So just know it's a wild, wild west. And what I'm encouraging, and I want to thank all the viewers here and the people watching the replay, is you're doing the right thing. You're participating in the conversation, you're paying attention, and you're taking action. So that's congratulations, you're doing that right. So mindset, you have to look at this through the eyes of this is a new species and it's going to impact every organization and everything. So that's my prediction. This is going to impact everything. But I'm going to give you some foundational things to think about as we go through this. So first things first, you can think back remember when the internet started and we had smartphones and social media and 3D printing, and now we have autonomous driving vehicles and then the Internet of Things, right? The internet is connected to every device. I mean, you can't go to a store or a shop or anything without some type of internet connection. And it's going to change everything. So the mindset piece is be open-minded, be a critical thinker. If you have a belief that isn't serving you, it's time to get a new belief. So I'm not asking you to agree with me or disagree. I'm asking you to be a critical thinker and question it and then practice. Okay. Next, AI and you. Well, it can help, like Dan mentioned this, but I'm just going to go over a few things that I made some notes as I was listening to Tom. I made some notes and I'm thinking, okay, here's some of the ways that I'm using AI right now in my business. And I run a full service agency, and I'm also, like Dan said, a speaker, but I use it for accounting information, HR, finance, customer service, marketing, sales, research, coding. We're a digital marketing company, so my web developers use it now to write PHP code and JavaScript code and interface with different databases. I use it for Excel. I recently got a mailing list of an association I was speaking to, and I couldn't remember the Excel formula to split the first name or split the name field that was first and last into two different fields. And I went to ChatGPT and I said, give me the Excel formula to split one cell and in 10 seconds, it gave me it and the instructions. And then I use it for predictive analytics because I'm a marketing guy, right? And so I have big data. And like now, Tom, I don't have those degrees. I mean, I got a marketing degree from High Point University, but I don't have machine language and large language models. And I took a lot of notes from what you were saying. But I always look at how is this going to impact me and how is it going to impact the brands that I'm working with. So again, we know it's going to be a big impact. You know, AI is a double-edged sword. You know, it can automate anything that you're doing in your business or your personal life that can be automated. AI is going to take it over very, very fast. Humans bring empathy and adaptability and creativity. And that's what I have to use because again, you know, I sold a project to an aerospace company, you know, actually a six-figure project. And I had to go meet with the executive board because I knew that they were going to find out about ChatGPT and they're going to say like, why do we need you for branding if we can use AI? So it's important in your positions to not look at being replaced, but what new skill sets do you need to create? And that's why Dan asked me to talk about prompting, which is what I'm going to get into, but I want to lay the foundation. Okay. All right. Next, you know, people have asked me if AI is going to replace humans. I've been saying this for months, ever since Jasper and Jarvis and Quillbot and all the other AI tools that I used way before ChatGPT, is I don't think it's going to replace humans. It's going to replace humans that aren't using AI. And it's going to be a integration between the two. It's not one or the other. It's going to be both. So what I recommend everybody do, at least starting out now, and in 3 months, I'll probably change this, but treat AI as an intern. So you watch Tom. Tom said, you know, list all the types of clothes in Denver, or list all the types of dogs and put it into a table and, you know, rate them by hypoallergenic or whatever. It's going to give you information, but it's up to you to treat it as an intern. So think about all of us right here on this call and all of you viewers. I can see the attendee list, so I can see who you are. Think about the biggest problem you have at the end of the day. Most people say, I don't have time. I don't have time. Well, now you have no excuse, okay? Because you now have an intern for all these different modalities. So when you're using ChatGPT, what I do in my ChatGPT, and I'm not going to share my screen like Tom did right now because I want you to get the point, is I create threads or new chats for accounting, for legal, for customer, and then I go back to those threads and treat them like people, like employees, just like what sit outside my office here. So treat AI as an intern. And what do you do with an intern? If I ask Dan to write some sales copy or to write an HR policy, he's going to use his collective knowledge that he learned in college or wherever in his experience. Well, just like what Tom said, you know, that they did ChatGPT 3.5 and it passed 10% of the bar, and now ChatGPT 4 is in the 90th percentile. Well, that's what it does now. In 6 weeks, it's going to even be smarter. So treat it as an intern now, but pretty soon it's going to be faster. So use that. AI and job placement, it's absolutely replacing jobs. There's a study I don't remember where I read it, but it said that 42% of companies that are currently leveraging the power of ChatGPT or the derivatives have already made personnel changes. So they're already changing the job descriptions. They're already changing. It's changing. So again, the concept is pay attention. It's definitely changing. I want to say this, and I know Tom would have a more scientific view, so I'm glad he went first. So, I can, lean on him and the other speakers that are coming after me. I look at ChatGPT as the engine and all the derivatives as cars, right? So you can have an engine, but the car can have different styles, different shapes, different speeds. And so when I talk today about ChatGPT, whether it's 3, 4, or 5, or whatever the next number is going to be, just understand, like he said, it's a large language model, but there's lots of different skins, and there's all types of AI directories popping up right now that have hundreds, if not over 1,000 different AI derivatives. There's tons of Chrome extensions and Bing extensions that you can use and plugins. And we'll get into some of that because it relates to this in a second. So one of the things that is really important, we're going to shift now into the prompting. Remember, I know I talk fast. This is not how I presented as a keynote. I've got short period of time. I'm going to give you as much as you can. You can always go back and watch if Dan and the team make it available to watch the replay. One of the things I like best about ChatGPT 4 is that you can process up to 25,000 words of text. So like when Tom was writing, he wrote very simple prompts, give me a list of dogs, give me a list of dogs that are from size to big to small, put them in a table. The key to prompting is using 1,000 or 2,000 characters to really describe what you want. The more clearly you describe, and it's just like if you have an intern, if someone comes into your office and you just hired him, if I say, hey, Richard, go write an article. Okay, well, Ford, how long do you want the article? How many words do you want? What do you want the theme to be? What do you want the action steps to be? Do you want takeaways? So treat it as an intern, as it's an employee, and know that if you use ChatGPT 4, it is throttled right now. You can only use so many responses within 3 hours. When I first got ChatGPT 4, I think it was 100 responses in 4 hours. Now it's 25. So they've throttled it all the way back to 25. So I use ChatGPT 3. And if for those of you that don't have an account, in case we have anybody on this call, just go to chat.openai.com, pay the $20 for the plus version. That's the tangible things. Because I don't want to make an assumption that, because there may be people on here that don't even know what it is, which is crazy to me, but I've met with a client an hour ago before this session, and he'd heard of it, he's seen it on the news, but he hadn't actually played with it. So obviously you have to work with it to make better prompts. All right, moving on. We're almost done with this, and I want to go into some prompting. We just talked about that. So you can start with simple prompts like I'm taking this from a marketing perspective, but again, you can use this for sales, customer service. I use it for predictive analysis of data. I can take sales data into ChatGPT, and it can analyze to show me trends and show me a lot of ways for new opportunities. So again, you need to think about this as in every aspect of your business or career, depending upon why you've joined here. All right, so let's go back to what are some of the basics that you really need to do to make sure you prompt effectively. Well, 1, get the plus account. 2, be strategic in your threads. And if the thread starts going off the topic, start over. So when I write something for, we'll just use sales copy, because anybody on here can write persuasively. So whether you're at working for a company and you want to get a raise, or whether you're in leadership or management, whatever your title is, you're going to have to sell or be persuasive. So when I write sales copy, and I'm a marketing guy, and I charge a lot of money, you guys Google my name, you guys can see what I do online. I'll put my LinkedIn. If you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, you can connect with me. My name's all over the screen here. But when I write sales copy, I don't write, please write sales copy for this product. I write, act as an expert marketer in copywriting and follow the problem credibility transformation model of copywriting, and write sales copy to influence this ideal client to take this specific tangible call to action. So I'm going to be much more specific in my prompting. And so in my short time that I have today on this panel with this group, the more you don't want to treat ChatGPT as Google. Like, we're all conditioned. We've been conditioned, and you know, it's really easy to condition people. So I think the chat is locked out. So I don't want to ask somebody to type in the chat, because I don't think Grace, it's locked out, right? So they can't type in the chat. Okay, so it's locked out. So if I'm going to ask the panelists here. So Richard, Dan, Tom, Mark, and Grace, undo your microphones. I can see you guys. Okay. So I'm just curious. I'm going to spotlight all of you. We're going to add you to the group here. I'm going to ask everybody to come in here and turn their mic on. And so we're bringing everybody in, and I'll kick everybody back out when I'm ready. So I'm just curious. I got everybody in here. Turn your mics on. Okay. So everybody's mics on. Okay. First instinct. Now we haven't planned this, right, guys? No one knows I'm doing this, right? Okay. First instinct out loud. I want you to say the word out loud. What color are yield signs?
Yellow.
Raise your hand if you said yellow. Okay. Richard, yellow?
Yeah, I was gonna say orange, but
so stay the hell away from these people when they're driving.
Okay.
Yield signs have been red and white since assuming you're in North America. Now, if you're overseas, that's a whole different thing, everybody. So if you're overseas, I can't. This doesn't work. But yield signs have been red and white since 1975. So some of you are going to be like, no way, Ford. Okay, write that down as one of your action steps and go check the color of yield signs. Now, this is something that I've been using in my seminars and keynotes for 25 years. I can't believe that people are still saying it. Yield signs are not yellow. They're red and white. Google it while you're sitting here go open up a Chrome browser and Google it. You'll see. Now, you can find a yellow one, but that was before 1975. So what does that mean? It means you've been conditioned to think something's true even though it's not. Well, you're conditioned to think, that yield signs are certainly not yellow, but because your brain thinks yellow, yield, caution, you create a connection and you turn out with a believed answer. Well, that's the same way people that have started using ChatGPT. They start thinking, well, I'm going to treat it just like Google. Well, first of all, we know it's not connected to current events, so it can't tell you who won the World Cup right now, but I'm sure soon it will be. I know that ChatGPT 4 says that it will accept URLs. It won't in my account, but I do know that soon it's going to be connected to the internet, and I'm sure Tom or someone that's on this program can give me more insights into that. But the point is, your conditioning is getting in your way. So when you think of ChatGPT, I want you to think about it like a sentient being, like a person that you're having a conversation with, and the more effectively that you can communicate what your need is, the smarter answer you're going to get. Now, like I said, I start in 3.5, but if it's something I really need, I go to 4.0. And so I will share this. I'm going to share my screen for just a second. And so let me just go here. And so here's my screen right now. Now I have a Chrome extension called AI PRM. I pay for it. You guys, we're not endorsing. This is not an affiliate link. So do this at your own due diligence. But I want you to see right here where 3.5, and I want you to look at conciseness. It's a 2. It's very fast, but it's not very concise. And the reasoning is a 3. But look at ChatGPT 4. The reasoning is a 5, and the conciseness is a 4. Now, I use this prompt generator because there are all these open source prompts. There's hundreds of them. And so I can search for certain things. I can type in legal or whatever, and I get prompts that are already predisposed. So again, whether you use this or a different one, that's totally up to you. But there's all these extensions now that you can use. I'm using that one. Again, not to endorse one particular thing. And for the record, this is for information and educational purposes only. We are not giving you legal advice. Okay, so I got just a couple minutes here. Key takeaways as we get ready to wrap up, and I'll be around and I'll answer some questions. But AI can improve efficiency by automating tasks. So you need to think about how is this going to affect your career? How is it going to affect your business? And then AI and humans are going to be working together. And so there are going to be certain things. It's not going to replace everybody, But if you want better results, if you want to prompt more effectively, then you have to save your prompts, do the research on your prompts, and you can find what I would do. Don't pay if someone's selling the top 100 prompts. Don't spend the money, because by the time the prompt comes out, it's probably outdated anyway. So, but I do want you to use the prompts to be more effective. So thanks, Dan. Thanks for putting the link in for the chat. That's my time. You can tell I'm passionate and excited about this. I guarantee you that if you practice and play and you treat this and you participate, you will leverage it in new ways that you never thought possible. And with that, I'm going to bring Dan back in and turn my microphone off. Thanks, Dan.
Thank you, Ford. Yay.
Yay.
Appreciate it.